What is up, guys? It's Tyron Karma here, and today I am back with another Call of the Wild video. And today we're going to be taking a look at what is possibly the most insane day that I have had while playing the Hunter Call of the Wild, going on 5 years now. So let's get into it. So if you probably saw from my latest community post, I returned to the moose grind. Wasn't having a lot of luck with the tar. I was attempting to herd and manage him a bit, but I had some issues with some solo floors. They were in places that were frustrating to get a shot on them, or was frustrating to try to hunt them. So I decided to take a break from the tar grind and return to it at a later date. And I decided to go back to moose and grind them for a little bit, see if I can get the fabled oak fur type that I've been trying to get for a while now. All this was taking place on January 21st, 2025. So this happened the day before I'm editing this video. So after a couple runs, I ended up coming back to this lake right here, just checking on what respawned here. All of a sudden, that's when I noticed this guy right here. 10 Fabled. He is a typical rack. Fabled Ashen Great One Moose. When I saw him, I was like, oh hey, check it out. Combo I never had before. And this is my first Great One of 2025. So after looking at him within the tree stand for a while, I decided to get down and get a good shot on him. And I decided to use the new Valgarda 375 that released back in December. So I'll let you guys enjoy me taking him down, and I'll talk after I've claimed him. So this is not the Great One Moose that I was teasing in my recent community post, as I was not planning on making a community post for this guy. So when I went into my trophy lodge, I took down one of the full body mounts I had for one of my previous Fabled Ashens, and decided to put this guy in a full body mount, chasing these two black bears. And I'd say he looks pretty good. And this is where I thought the video was going to end. Little did I know, it was just part 1 out of 3 of what was going to happen later that evening. So continuing on with the moose grind, I get a couple kills, and all of a sudden I'm back at this spot where I got my 3rd Great One Moose. Same thing with my 13th Great One Moose that I took with the Gondhair rifle. However, they haven't shown up to their zone yet, so I decided to do the time change trick to see if they would show up soon. Unfortunately, that didn't work either. Even though I gave it a couple seconds to see what would happen, they were still not showing up, so I decided to exit to the main menu and get them to show up faster, because sometimes when you main menu and go back into your single player, they will show up right there at the zone. So after main menuing, I checked back over at the zone to see if the moose were right there, and luckily they decided to show up. But what I didn't expect, what was going to be one of the bulls that were right there on the zone. As you can see, we have another 10 Fabled Moose. And as you guys can see, not only does he have the butterfly rack, aka the quad paddle rack, he also has the Fabled Oak fur type. For those who have been on my channel for a while, this has been the fur type I have been trying to go after ever since I got my two-tone Great One Moose back in April of 2024. So I decided to get a closer look at him before I took him down. And I decided to use a weapon that doesn't really get used anymore, as it's been overshadowed by the 300 AR, aka the Arzina 300, as well as the 375. That weapon is the 300 Canning Magnum, or in other words, the 300 bolt action rifle. Then again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's overshadowed. There's still a handful of people that use the 300 bolt action. Since I was getting close to this guy, I decided to zero in for 75 and take a shot right there. Anyways, time to take this beast down. I would have another member of the herd try to block the shot. Once I got to him, I disabled the HUD and all that so I could get a picture of him on the ground via PlayStation screenshots. This is the specific moose I was referred to in the community post where I said a chapter of Great One grinding concludes here. Basically what I meant by that was after I got a Great One moose with the Fabled Oak fur type, I would stop grinding moose on PlayStation. And after getting this guy, I could say that I'm finally happy to end the Great One moose grind on PlayStation. I may not have gotten the split rack, but as I said, I don't really care enough to get it personally. I'm just happy to get a Fabled Oak. So we're back in the Trophy Lodge, and I had a wall plaque reserved specifically for the Fabled Oak, and it was this specific plaque right here. And this here marks the end of the Great One Moose grind on PlayStation. While it is bittersweet, it is sweet to finally get the last fur type I needed. And this is where I was originally going to end the video, as I made the community post with this guy. But it seems I was wrong. Now, whoever said lightning doesn't strike twice, okay, lightning in the real world doesn't strike twice, but when that lightning is being referred to as the Great One RNG luck in the Hunter Call of the Wild, it can strike twice. Heck, it might even strike a third time, as that is what happened with me. So after getting that Fabled Oak, I decided to head over to South Sweden Park and hunt some pheasants. And when I fast traveled over to this zone, that is where the unexpected happens. As I'm walking out of this tent, not realizing it, I spot this guy flying. A 10 fabled pheasant. The moment I saw 10 fabled, I was like, what? A third Great One? What are the odds? Because I was not expecting to get Great One pheasant number 3 so soon. You can hear my excitement in the mic during this gameplay recording.
That's the third Great One I've spawned all... That's the third Great One I've gotten all day. Are you serious? What was its plumage type? Fabled Emerald. We got an Emerald. I wonder how long this dude's been on my map. He must have been here before I took a break from pheasants. Because I just checked this zone today. Oh my gosh.
I decided to use the 22 Anderson to take this guy out. I think the next Great One pheasant I will use the Coleman 22 Hornet. Now, as you heard in the gameplay recording, I was wondering how long this guy was on my map for. I'm guessing it was probably on my map for 2 weeks or so because, as I said, that was the first time I checked that specific zone. I'm guessing he probably spawned before I took a break from pheasants to go back to tar grinding. It took me a while before I was able to get him down on the ground. So I'm going to skip to the clip of me sneaking up and taking him down. And once again, I'll talk after I've picked him up. Not gonna lie, anytime you hear that music when you pick up a great one, it's just always a great feeling. And so the grind for Great One Pheasant number 3 comes to a close with the fabled emerald. And now, let's head back to the lodge one more time and add this guy in there. So I decided to swap out my albino and diamond raccoons in favor of all 3 of my Great One Pheasants and my leucistic. In the future, I'm planning on rearranging my lodge, especially if I get more great ones. So some trophies are going to be moved around, some are going to be moved to another lodge. I plan on my main lodge being mostly my favorite trophies. Anyways, I decided to put my 3rd Great One Pheasant in a multi-mount with my leucistic, at least for now, because when I get Great One Pheasant number 4, he is going to be in the multi-mount with that emerald. And honestly, this is looking really nice. If y'all are wondering the stats for Great One Pheasant number 3, it took me 264 kills with 6 diamonds and 0 rares. So to wrap things up, I'm happy to have finally ended Great One Pheasant grind number 3 and get the last fabled fur that I was missing for the Great One Moose. And as of lately, I have taken down my entire Great One Pheasant grind on South Pheasant Park and moved it around so I could focus on Red Fox, because I'm going to do the island/peninsula tactic to hopefully get my first Great One Red Fox. Eventually, I am planning on returning to pheasants, but for the time being, I'm going to focus on Red Fox. However, this is where the Great One Moose grind ends for me on PlayStation. I am planning on going for a Great One Moose on PC and Xbox. Maybe I'll return to it to get a couple more two-tones and birches, and maybe see if I can get the other combos I'm missing. But other than that, I'm probably not going to be making another Great One Moose video on PlayStation anytime soon. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And be sure to check out our Discord server if you want to. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.